Mr. Onyechekwe, yes. What is the situation in Anambra?
In this the situation presently in Anambra, you know, apart from what we are expecting to experience, which is the alluvial flood, which is rising water and river level, we're already experiencing grave flash flood in Anambra State. In a couple of months back, precisely by in June or July was that, we have Obosi is a town in Idemili North local government, flooded. And a lot of buildings were affected. You talk about 2,000 persons temporarily displaced. You know, this flash flood issue, they comes and go. They don't last for a very long time. Mm-hmm. So that is the situation. Just Sunday, the heavy downpour we experienced on Sunday, 13th of September, also caused a very great flash flood in Anambra also. Even the federal highway there, close to Mpo, is even at risk, because it caused the flash flood caused a very big gully there that eats deep into the road. So the highway there is even at risk. So that is what we experience in Anambra State. Not only those areas, about 4 local governments are experiencing it presently, the flash flood.
Okay. And back to you, Mr. Anyago. One of the main causes of flooding is, 1, lack of appropriate drainage. And then 2, even the few drainage channels that are available are misused and they are blocked by those who live around those areas. What is the government doing about educating the people regarding the risks involved in blocking the drainages that are available?
Well, the government is doing a lot through the Ministry of Environment. At the moment, we are doing sensitization, carrying out sensitization through radio, television, as well as town hall meetings. We're letting the people, first of all, understand, like you talked about, the substances they use in blocking the drainage, which is some non-biodegradable plastics. Yeah. Because the moment
what's that thing called again?
Yes, the moment
nylon bags.
Yes, nylon bags and all that. The moment you dispose it
on pure water bags.
Yes, on like ordinary paper that may easily decay, and then it goes. This one remains for a number of years, and the moment you have it in any of the water channels, either in terms of the drainage or even in your sewer lines, it causes a lot of trouble. So we are trying as much as possible to let them understand that doing this beyond what is coming from the river, this also affects how you manage the one that even ordinarily should empty into the river. But apart from that, they were also carrying out the deseating of the drainage, particularly in some of the major cities where you have crowded houses, a place like Asaba. At the moment, even today, the Commissioner for Environment and some of his staff will be heading towards Saple and some other very highly built up areas, because that is usually where you have the bulk of these, because a number of times you have houses clustered in one particular area, and you have a lot of human activities on account of a large population. Yes, living in other areas, living in floodplains. So we're also trying as much as possible to empty these blocked drainages, so that when it rains, the water will easily, through this drainage, empty into the river or whatever canal, either natural drain lines, in which case you might have some form of a depression where the water can empty into by itself, or artificial channeling of the water into the river. So that is what we are doing. But beyond that, the issue of sensitization, we're also making it known to our brothers and sisters who live in these communities. You of course know that you're not going to force anybody to live, but we've been able to let them know that, look, if you begin to see that there is an abnormal rise in the water level around where you live, beyond having to move by yourself, the government have also provided places where we are going to be able to evacuate them to, should the need arise. But the good thing is that, unlike what other people do, we are not going to use primary schools and secondary schools where you have to now deprive our children and brothers and sisters from having access to school. We have designated 4 stadia in the state, one in Kwale, another one in Ole, another in Ogara, and then the 3rd one in Ughelli, the 4th one in Ughelli. The intention is that as soon as we have the need to evacuate any community or people in any particular place, we have where we are taking them to. But we're not also taking them to an empty ground. We have also been able to procure large tents, beddings, nets, so that the moment it happens, we're not just going to say, just go and stay in the stadium and then be beaten by the natural rain.
You're now talking management.
Yes.
Here. But let's go back to Mr. Beckley and look at the issues that have to do with prevention, as we also look at management. When you were talking, it appears you were looking at the issues of structural mitigation. What about the non-structural matters that have to do with flood management and prevention?
Yeah, thank you very much. I just want to enlighten us here that now the issue of flooding, as a matter of fact, the rainwaters is supposed to be a blessing and not a curse. And we are supposed to manage it effectively so that it will turn out to be a blessing to us. Now, most times, I'll come to the issues of measures to be taken, but then I just want to still highlight some few things that I think are very, very important. We mentioned the issue of Lagdo the other time. Now, I don't think we should get really fearful about the issue of water being released from Lagdo, because it's not just the release from Lagdo that really caused the flood that we had in 2012. Now, like my colleague said the other time, the tributaries, the rivers, that are close to the major rivers are also contributing. And because, for example, along the Benue axis, you don't have the kind of dams that you have along the Niger, so it makes it difficult for this flow of the water to be contained. So, but if measures are taken to take care of these things, then it will not be devastating. Now, measures that could be taken could be non-structural and they could be structural. Now, some of the measures that are non-structural includes that of sensitization, which we are doing now. And it also includes zoning the flood areas so that people will know that they don't have to stay within those zone areas for their own safety.
Mr. Beckley, if I may come in here, 1 second, please. Talking about flood areas, the topography of Nigeria is such that they are natural flood plains.
Yes.
But in the course of construction in different parts of the country, some of these floodplains and natural drains have been overtaken, maybe because of ignorance, or some of them by corrupt practices have been sold out to some people. Are we looking for a way to reclaim those ones?
Yeah, thank you very much. Normally in an area, in a town, there should be land use or urban town planning laws or regulations to guide people as to where to erect structures and where not to erect structures. And so if this is in place in the first place, then enforcement should be made so that people don't encroach on those areas. Now, should they do that, then of course the authorities should make sure that they move away from those areas for their own good.
Okay, let me come back to Mr. Nyejekwe. In Anambra State, you've talked about flash floods, Obosi and Nkwo, 2,000 displaced in Obosi, and the gully threatening the highway at Nkwo. But what are the efforts that the Anambra State government is putting in place?
In Anambra State is among the few states which commenced early sensitization and early warning programs. So we visited different communities and areas when it comes to the river flooding. We visited different communities. They are sensitizing them on the need to be ready for it. Then when it comes to other environmental or human practices that enhances this flood, we have also gone around educating and sensitizing them. We have done a lot of that. We did it in June, July, and even in August that just passed now, and we are continuing. We are even still going on with the campaign in the media and every other platform, even Tankraya. So the Anambra State government have been doing a lot, but all these issues are, when it comes to humanitarian crisis or issues like that, it is big enough for government to manage alone. So when the government will play their own part in sensitizing and educating the people on the precautionary measures to take. So we also look at the people also taking the measures and making sure that those issues that contribute to it are dealt with.
But are the people reacting positively Are they listening to what government is saying to them?
Yes.
For their own sakes?
Yes. From the feelers we are getting, they are listening.